Hi there, I'm Dr. Lakita J, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You all right? I am a Naplex Success Coach, and I help pharmacists shift their mindsets, strategize their plan, and study effectively for the Naplex exam. And today in this video, I am thrilled to introduce you to a game-changing resource that will revolutionize your approach to preparing for the Naplex exam. This is the Naplex Study Skills Toolkit. Okay? This comprehensive toolkit is designed to equip you with the essential strategies and techniques you need to ace the Naplex exam with confidence and success. Now, we've had to start a whole series. So over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be talking about these strategies. Okay, so be prepared for the long haul. All right. Just so this is gonna be a part series. How many parts we don't know, but it's gonna be a part series. Okay. Okay. Now tonight, this morning, whenever you are watching this, I am going to talk about one of the key study strategies that's emphasized in our toolkit. And be sure, link below is free. Download it. It's free, okay? Free. I said it right, free. So just go ahead and download it and you'll thank me later, okay? But in this video, we're going to talk about the practice of highlighting and underlining. Then these seemingly simple techniques can have a profound impact on your ability to absorb and retain the information, especially important information, making those invaluable tools in your study arsenal, okay? So why is highlighting and underlining so effective? Well, one is because it truly, first and foremost, it serves as an active type of learning technique. Well, I say not type, it's an active learning technique that truly engages your brain and enhances your comprehension of the material. Instead of passively reading through those thick textbooks, your study guides, these techniques encourage you to actively identify and emphasize key concepts and information. So by actively engaging with this material in this way, you are more likely to retain the information and recall it during the exam. Sometimes, like I can even remember when I'm working in retail and someone asked me a question, I can literally go into I can go and look to like, oh, I remember this because I remember the color coded and the highlights I had for my notes to see the diagram and stuff, and also to my visual learner. So look, I digress with that, but that's one of the things that helps me, and that's so important. Second thing is to highlighting and underlining helps you to streamline your study processes by focusing your attention on the most relevant and the most important information. When you're faced with those lengthy passages, those long, complex topics, it can be really easy to get overwhelmed and unsure of what to focus on, where to place your efforts. By systematically highlighting and underlining key points, you can quickly identify the core concepts that are essential for understanding and mastering information. Because a lot of times, every book will have an outline of it. It will tell you this is the topic, the main topic, the subtopics, and you can identify and highlight the key concepts. Now, additionally, third thing is the act of physically marking up your study materials with highlights and underlines. It provides like a visual cue for you to reinforce your memory and aids in retrieval. Research has shown that visual cues can provide has significance in improving your memory recall. Like I said, it makes it easier when you're retrieving it during the exam. Like when asked for questions, sometimes you can picture like, oh, okay, this color. Like for me, I know I color coordinate a lot of things. So for lungs, everything is in blue. For heart, everything is in red. That's how I color coordinate it. But strategically using highlights and underlines to draw attention to important concepts really helps you create that roadmap to your brain to follow when it's time to really answer those questions. Like I said, I will go into a thing of, let me highlight those things. Now, also, we do want to talk about some practical tips for effective incorporating highlighting and underlining your study routine. first one, you have to be intentional. Be intentional and purpose. It's so easy to highlight every single thing, but we want to make sure we take a moment to identify the specific information you want to highlight or underline. This includes those key terms, those definitions, those equations, those important concepts. Those are things you want to make sure that you just quickly go highlight that you identify, so we're not absolutely just highlighting every single thing. Once you identify that, you want to create like a consistent kind of color code system to know different types of information. Like I said before, for me, I use red for hearts, blue for lungs. You may want to use a different color. You also may want to use one color to highlight like your key terms. There may be something you want to use. Use one specific color for a key term, or you may want to use another color to underline important definitions, or may use a third color to mark examples or case studies. Those one of your things to think about is having that visual organization that can help you quickly identify those different types of information and make those connections between those related concepts. I like to color coordinate. It works good for me, but you have to figure out what works best for you, but and what particular colors and orders. But that's one of the key things. And as you work through your study materials again, as you're studying, you have to truly resist the temptation to highlight or underline every single thing, every single word or phrase. You cannot do that. That becomes overwhelming. Everything is important, but it's not that important. Like, as I tell my clients, sometimes you got to understand you're not going to know everything for the exam. What are some things you can just bypass and knowing? Like, let's be real. Some things you just don't have to look up as a pharmacist. You're not going to know every single thing. There are new drugs always coming out. If you're somebody who's not staying current with events and stuff like that, you're not going to remember every single thing. So you just have to be mindful of that. And just being okay with saying, I'm okay with not knowing this information. Hence, let me clarify, because I just told y'all on a recent live to make sure, when I get advice to the new grads, I just told you on a live to make sure that you study everything, like cover your chapter. I said cover your chapter. I didn't say know every single thing in the chapter. Okay? That's what I said. But I'm digress. The key thing is to make sure that you figure out what's important. Like I always say, for instance, when it comes to these conversions of steroids, for which one has was the most potency, from methylprednisolone to prednisone and stuff like that. Know the first three and probably call it a day. I just know minor stuff are the conversions between the ACE inhibitors. You probably, unless you were somebody who clinical and heart specialist, something like that, you might have to know something like that, but that's something you can look up. Do we got time to sit here and just think about that? Probably not, but that's what I'm saying. Don't get so overwhelmed with stuff like that. Like, that's just like, it's just just remember, the goal is to streamline your study process. Make the most efficient use of your time and your energy. Okay? Because highlighting and underlining materials regularly is used to reinforce your learning and ensure retention. When you spend that time, so when you highlight and you got, okay, these notes are in blue, these notes are in red, I know already this color coordinated, but then I want to highlight certain things. You want to spend that time when you're going on your notes to make sure when you highlight something, you want to you pay special attention to information when you mark it up, so you know it's something that's important. You also want to make it's also too, if you find like those things you find important when you highlighting things, it could be helpful for you to create flashcards or summary sheets based on what's highlighted or what's underlined to reinforce your understanding. That could be an awesome tactic to add on to when you highlight or underline, just FYI. In all, I want to take this time out to really enforce the importance of highlighting and underlining as a effective study technique for mastering like the materials covered for the Naplex exam. However, it's important to highlight, but you have to actively engage in the materials, because you're just passively highlighting and just only, like, it's not enough. And highlighting, it is a technique, but I do want to make sure I tell you, just highlighting and underlining alone would not be enough. So over these next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you different techniques to use, and it will comprehensively put them all together to show you, like, you need all these things to effectively prepare for the exam. But with highlighting, it helps you, it's just that visual cue to tell you, hey, this is what's more important. It allows you to actively engage in the material, with not just, and in making sure you're just not just highlighting paragraphs at a time. If you look up and you're writing paragraphs at a time, you're doing too much. You're absolutely doing too much. It's highlighting is used to, again, actively engage while tears while you're reading, to streamline your study process, and to truly reinforce your learning through regular reviews. So it's one of those things, if you see a page and you got things highlighted, okay, it may be a trick of, I read the pages in its whole entirety, but now let me just focus on the highlighted parts, because I know this is something that's deemed important for me. So therefore, we want to make sure we do that. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. As again, subscribe to this video if you like it. We have more coming. Please do not forget to download the Naplex Study Skills Toolkit. It's a tongue test, tongue twister, but it's okay. But don't forget to do that. Download, subscribe, like the channel, and make sure you use this toolkit in this series to really take your study efforts for the Naplex to another level. Okay, until next time, remember that pharmacy is only limit if you are. Now go be great. Talk to you guys later, and happy Sunday, or whenever you're watching this. Okay.